Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And it's award season, apparently, because it feels like it's kind of always award season within the entertainment industry. And more importantly, I just don't think that anybody cares anymore. At least that's kind of the vibe that I get. On top of talking about the awards and the Emmys specifically, I wanted to talk a little bit about the box office and what happened in theaters this weekend. So let's just go ahead and dig into the news. Now, as always, make sure to visit criticalist.com and subscribe, comment, like, all of that, but hit that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel a ton. We've got a lot of traction drumming up, especially from my recent review of Am I Racist? If you have not seen that yet, make sure to go and check that out on our channel's feed as well. And then just go to criticalist.com. We're an entertainment reviewing platform for reviewing and just talking about entertainment, everything that you're enjoying. So go ahead, drop a review of something you've seen lately. Now, on to the Emmys. I saw this pop up, and in all honesty, I really had not any idea that that was happening yesterday, and I didn't really care. I saw a few ads seeing that, you know, it was the Levy boys doing the show and leading things up, but I didn't really care after seeing those few ads that I saw. And I'm never a big awards person anyways, but what really jumped out to me this morning is that Variety released a review for the Emmys, and the title alone caught my interest. It's a humdrum Emmys are weighed down by sparse crowds and sponsored content. And so this is a TV review from them, but this article in general kind of surprised me coming from the industry. I mean, Variety is right at the core of the entertainment industry and kind of the entertainment machine. And so them kind of throwing some shade on it intrigued me, because I have said for a long time that the entertainment industry as a whole, and even the music industry and a lot of these kind of establishments, are dying slowly, and people are just starting to care less and less. I think some of it has to do with things like YouTube and TikTok, and the fact that regular folks are now creating entertainment and commenting on entertainment. And especially when it comes to these awards, people are just like, why should I care about the industry pumping itself up and having a bunch of people vote on these shows and things that are coming out, but yet it doesn't really seem to reflect the things that me and my friends and family and people that I know are watching. It's just kind of this wank session for the industry and all of their homies and friends to come around and tout out how rich and special they are. And I just think people are over it. And this article really kind of digs into what some of the problems were. And one of the biggest ones that they point out is that this is 2 times within the same year that they're doing this. So that obviously is, people just aren't going to care as much about that. Another thing that they point out, which I have noticed for years, is just the habit to have winners winning multiple things over the same year or back-to-back years, and then also just repeat winners winning endless categories, and it's the same show. You just see, oh, you know, this article comes out and it's like, oh, this show won all the awards at the Emmys, and you're like, okay, great, I guess, but like, where are the awards for all the other shows? Also, you didn't talk about any of the shows that I liked that came out this year or have been on TV for a while. So that also just really seems like it's starting to rub people the wrong way. And so apparently they also just did some strange things, like jarring songs that didn't seem to match up with what they were talking about, which she points out here because, for example, they said Jessica Gunning, who won award for Baby Reindeer, the Netflix show, which this is one of the ones people were a little bit more excited about. They ended up playing like a True Blood song and then a Dawson's Creek song and a Jeopardy jingle, but none of it was really connected to anything. That's just kind of strange and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But it just seems like as a whole, Variety was not hot on this presentation. And I mean, I have not seen anybody talking about it. And so I went and pulled up the awards themselves and who won and what won. Now, one of the big things that seems like it's probably going to have people at least interested and excited or talking about this is just the fact that Shogun won a lot of things. And if you have not seen Shogun, I highly recommend it. And I granted, personally, I wasn't super happy with the ending, but supposedly it follows suit well with the book that it was based off of. But I just wasn't crazy about how they kind of tied up this show at the end of things, which from the sounds of it, it might be getting a season 2. So, hey, there's that. But so Shogun won. Outstanding drama series, which I can totally get behind. Now, there are some heavy hitters in this list of shows. Biggest among them for me that jumped out was Fallout, that did really well, but Three Body Problems here and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, these are some things that I've seen decent buzz around. And so I saw Slow Horses on here as well. That one I might drop a Criticalist review for, because I actually tried it because they're marketing the crap out of it. But I can go ahead and tell you that this show is propaganda for the feds. So I do not recommend Slow Horses, but I might drop a Criticalist review because that show rubbed me the wrong way after just one episode, and I cannot see myself going any further because I was so disgusted with it. But so we've got Outstanding Comedy Series, Hacks one. I don't know anything about it. The list here is things that a lot of you have probably heard about before, but I mean, it was going up against What We Do in the Shadows. I don't think that they've won any review or any of these awards. And honestly, as far as something actually funny and things that I've seen people talk about being funny, this is at the top of that list, and it's one of the few things that's by that creator set that I even like anymore. So I mean, I think the show is actually still quite good and very funny, and it doesn't surprise me that it didn't win for that reason. Outstanding lead actor, we did get somebody from Shogun winning that, and Sonata, I'm not going to try and say his first name. I butcher it every time, but he does do an excellent job. I think he earned that for sure. Now, Walton Goggins, honestly, he could have won this for Fallout. We've got an outstanding lead actress in a drama series. Shogun won again, and this is Anna Sawai, and she also did a phenomenal job. I cannot fault her for winning this as well. A lot of these other shows I haven't seen, don't know enough about. We've got an outstanding lead actor in a comedy series. We got Jeremy Allen White. Now, the interesting thing I saw about this is that The Bear is technically listed as a comedy series. There is stuff that's funny in the show, but I would put it more on like the dramedy/drama side of things. I think it's phenomenal, and I think that he does deserve a win, but there's not much funny about his character in regard to it just being in this comedy genre. So I find it interesting that that's what he won, but I'm guessing that it's probably because he wasn't able to take the drama series one, or it's just that they felt that this was the best place to bill it. So we've got more lead actors and actresses, but it is a whole lot of we're getting The Bear here. There's Hacks again. We did get a morning show win, The Crown, which I haven't watched at all. We've got another with The Bear again. Now, then we get Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series. Baby Reindeer won that. I do commend them on that. I think that it definitely won it. And if you look at Criticalist, our scores are quite high on that. Now, I'm on the lower end of some of these scores, but I still think that it was an excellent show and very well done. More of the reason that it ranked low was just because it just was an uncomfortable watch for me. But now the fact that True Detective Night Country is on this list is honestly embarrassing. I can't believe it's here. It's one of the worst things that I've ever seen. And this just comes back to the industry and these outlets propping up things that are total trash and pretending like it's good and gaslighting all of us into oblivion, trying to convince us that stuff like this is interesting, well written, and well done when it's not. This had no business even being on this list anywhere, on any list of any award anywhere. So we've got another where we're back into the lead actors and actresses. We've got a Night Country here win. Jodie Foster, she did not. I don't care who she went up against. Her performance was fine. It was nothing special. But we did get Richard Gadd winning for Baby Reindeer. I think he totally earned that, and he is a newcomer in the industry. So I can see him getting that win, and congrats for getting that because that show has done quite well. Now we've got a Fargo win here. I did see the most recent season of Fargo. It was fairly good. Also full-blown propaganda. Can definitely confirm that. Was not a big fan by the time they buttoned it up. It seemed like this entire season was just fashioned around attacking libertarians and religious people. So there's that. But we got another win from Baby Reindeer. We got a Shogun win here for outstanding directing. I think that it totally earned that. Now, all of the other things that it's going up against, I'm not super familiar with outside of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I didn't watch it. I'm not even going to talk about Slow Horses. But then we've got a drama series this here. We've got another win. But the interesting thing is Will Smith's on this list. So I'm interested. Is that the same Will Smith or a different Will Smith? Because I don't think that he's on that show. So this must be a different Will Smith. But it's writing. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so with these, you're seeing a lot of the same things. Like I pointed out, with The Bear and Shogun, there's just a lot of repeat wins. Hacks as well, which I haven't watched any of. More Baby Reindeer. So there is a Daily Show win here, and they've I mean, outstanding talk series, I guess. Like most of these shows are trash, so whatever, give it to them, I guess. All of these shows are basically just doing the same thing. They're just all the same. There's nothing interesting in late night anymore, or even in these talk series. They're all just basically an outlet, I think, for the DNC at this point. It's just a bunch of political talking points from the same perspective, from the same types of people. Wildly uninteresting propaganda. So there's that. And we have Outstanding Reality Competition, where the Traders, I think that is a newer show, and they won. So I guess that's interesting. But all of these others have been around for a million years. And then last week tonight with John Oliver won for scripted variety series. So again, whatever. Both of these shows don't care anything about, don't do that well. So this is just, for me, it's more of the same. It's more of the same crap from the industry pushing the same things, and whatever. Like, who cares? Why are we watching this? I think at this point it needs to be just like Criticalist, community driven, driven by the people, where the people vote, can have a voice. Maybe down the road as Criticalist grows, we can lean into something like that. We could do our own awards show. I'd be totally down for that, and let it come from the people and from you guys, because stuff like this just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. No one cares. Like I said, it's just a big wank fest for the industry and from these, just the same crap from the same people. So whatever. The Emmys can shove it. Yeah, who cares? No one cares. All right, so with the box office, I did pull this up because I wanted to see. There wasn't a whole lot that happened this weekend with what came out. Now, like I mentioned, Am I Racist came out, but the industry, or well, the media at least is trying to bury it, and so it's one of those that they aren't going to want to talk about. But also, I think there is more conversation to be had with that movie and the reception of it. It did, it made $4.75 million at a limited release, so that's okay. But also, according to Odin, who did this article for Geeks and Gamers, I'll put it in the show notes. Definitely recommend checking out his articles. They're fantastic, and just OMB reviews, his channel in general. He does great stuff, and he understands numbers. If anybody knows anything about me, I am not a numbers guy, and I'm scared of them. I run away from numbers because they're scary, unless they're positive and good and in my favor, and then I like them. Then numbers are nice, or if it's like Criticalist, percentage scores, those are pretty cool. But anyways, Beetlejuice did pretty well. It had a 54% drop, and that's fairly good. It's still making pretty good money for week 2 on a slow time right after school starting. So it made another $51.6 million, and that's pretty solid considering that it's the second week, and word of mouth seems to be so fairly good, but people are still showing up for it. I don't think that this is going to continue and it's going to just keep doing gangbusters. I think this weekend is probably when things are going to slow down for Beetlejuice. Speak No Evil did 11.5 million, and that one, that's one of these horror films. I think that's an okay release for opening weekend, but Odin didn't talk about that one a whole lot. And then, like I said, then we've got Am I Racist and The Killer's Game, which only did 2.6 million, which had quite a few famous people in it, but they did not market it very much. And honestly, I think Dave Bautista is just really struggling for them to push him as a lead. And I think that he's an excellent actor. He does great work, but I am interested in seeing this movie. Actually, we've had decent reviews come through in Criticalist, but it just seems like he and Sophia Boutella, I've mentioned this before, but it just seems like they can't seem to make them happen as far as lead actors go, and they keep trying to put them in these roles, and it's just hasn't really worked out thus far. Now, I definitely recommend reading this little breakdown that he gave of Am I Racist, and he points out some interesting points here about Daily Wire, kind of pointing out that that they had gotten some people threatening to ban the movie and boycott it and all of these things, and they were trying to kind of blame some of that on it. But honestly, it's like he points out where if you look at people like Dinesh D'Souza, who does documentary type films, his do quite well, and this didn't do very well in comparison to some of that. So what his numbers are comparing to and this movie, it's looking like not a great turnout. But honestly, I would also say, and what he points out here is, he says, it would not surprise me if a lot of Daily Wire subscribers either don't know Am I Racist would be released in theaters, which I say in my review, I did not know as well, or reviews to go theatrically even out of principle because the film realistically should have had a day and date release on their streaming service. Even if you want to support that, what the Daily Wire is doing, and you want to expand its reach with a theatrical debut to leave your dedicated subscribers, especially those that pay the yearly rate, not even a vague idea of a date when it would be available to stream on the platform they are already playing for feels wrong. So I agree. And the way that they did this is just a little bit cagey, and I think that people might have had a problem with that. And also, the movie is one of those that just didn't necessarily need a theatrical release. I understand you want to make a little bit more money on it instead of just shooting it to streaming and leaving it exclusive to your people and maybe getting in front of more eyes. But I just don't know that it was best attack. But, hey, you live, you learn, and maybe they'll do more of this. And I don't, fault them for trying, but maybe a different approach would have been a better idea. So anyways, guys, that's it for the Emmys in the box office for today. And like I said, I hope everybody's having a great Monday, and I will be back again tomorrow to do the news. Let me know what you think about the Emmys and these award shows, if they matter, if people care at all, or if Criticalist should just continue to blow up and we should do our own, because that would be way cooler. So, all right, guys, we will see you back here tomorrow. Subscribe, comment, like, visit Criticalist, create an account, do all those things right now. Do it. Don't waste your time. Stop whatever you're doing. Make an account on Criticalist, and I will talk to you tomorrow.